chance to be one of those schools that's in the top competing for it. And that's where we want to be, and that's where we want the bar to be. And our goal is to be in that conversation every year. But I do feel like, you never know with each given season, and we need our breaks, stay healthy, etc. But I like to think we can be in that conversation along with a few other good teams.
If we can go back to Bracken real quick, I know you recruited him out of high school, and when he became available, when he announced he was transferring, I guess what was his recruiting process like the second time around, and how did you sell him on Ball State?
Well, he was unique in that he broke our heart twice. I like to remind him daily that we recruited him out of high school really hard. He committed to Central Florida, and then at the end of the year, they had a new coaching change. So he went through the process again, and we jumped right back in, and he broke my heart a second time when he went to Arkansas. So then he called a third time, and he called us, I think, after he decided to leave Arkansas. And if you know, it was like June or July. Or May, I forgot when it was, but it was after the normal kind of transfer cycle happens, and we didn't have a scholarship open. And he called again. My heart sank because right away I said to myself, we don't have a scholarship. And I said, hey, Bracken, you know how I feel about you as a player. There's no one I'd recruited harder since I've been the head coach here than Bracken. And but I don't have a scholarship. And then his dad called me a little bit later and said, hey, listen, he's going to take a few other visits, and he's going to, like we always do with this process, we're going to make sure he's got something to compare it to. But he said, if that's where Bracken really wants to go, I want him to go to the school he wants to go to. And if he decides to go there, I'll pick up a year. And then we put him on scholarship the following year. And so he visited another school, visited us. And that time he was pretty businesslike. And but then he called me and told me this is where he wanted to come. And it's felt right, I think, on his part and for me both the second he got here, because we knew each other so well through the process. But he's having him and KJ sitting out, for me, is a really breath of fresh air, because they can both really play. And it just feels good. It just kind of gives you strength, gives you confidence in that we can continue to be good, and that's the whole objective, is to have sustainability for us, where some years you're going to hit the Powerball, some years you're not, but you got to be in the conversation every year. That's really the goal.
Coach, just to be clear, is Bracken on scholarship this year, or is he paying his own
He is
way?
not right now on
Okay.
scholarship, and there is an appeal going forward because Zach Hollywood's no longer with us. There is an appeal going forward to try to move those scholarship dollars over, but we'll see where that goes. That's an NCAA issue. But no, he did not come here on scholarship. He came here as a non-scholarship player, and we're hoping to be able to put him on at some point during the year.
Okay, and so for the next 12 months, what do you want him to do physically, mentally, emotionally to be ready for next year?
One of the things we want him to work on is he's got to continue to gain weight and get stronger, which he started doing at Arkansas. And he gained, I think it was 15 pounds down there, and he's got to do the same here. He's got to get stronger. And then we really want him to develop his ability to shoot, and he's certainly a capable shooter. But to me, his future is as an elite pick and pop player, and he's a great athlete, as you know. He jumps great. He's a smart player, and to me, for him to become elite, he's got to become an elite shooter, and that really opens up his game. And he works on it constantly with our staff. He's really invested in it, and he's getting better. But if he has a whole year and he can become a legit 40% three-point shooter, 39, 38, 40% three-point shooter with volume attempts, then I think at that point he can be an all-conference type player.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, can you touch on the Zach Hollywood situation and how you worked through that with your guys?
Yeah.
And probably it has to be the worst situation you've ever dealt with in your decades of coaching?
By far the worst and hardest, and mostly just immensely sad for Zach and for Zach's family and for our team. You know, he lost a really good kid, and the thing about Zach's life is, you know, what's gotten a lot of attention is the way it ended. But he's a great kid. Like, he's a great kid, and we all lost a good friend, and our players lost someone they really cared about. And it's the story that's not often told is what a good person Zach was, and how many lives he impacted in a good way, and what a good friend he was for a lot of people, and how much fun he was to be around. And it's sad that all that's gone, and so it's been a challenge, you know, and I think everyone can relate to losing someone that they're close to. And, you know, we lost someone that we're all really close to. And so it's probably not a whole lot different than if you had a loved one that, you know, your wife lost their mother or father, and how you would try to help them grieve. And that's been what I would view as my role, is to try to help our players grieve, to help them understand how to deal with loss and get help, because that's not what I was trained to do. And I've been fortunate that the university has helped, and we've gotten good resources to help us. And Zach's family has been great through the whole thing. And so that's really been it. You know, we went to the funeral as a team. We meet a lot as a team. We've talked about it a lot as a team. And I wouldn't minimize for 1 second how impactful it's been. It's been extraordinarily impactful. And you know what, it's life. And sometimes you get a fastball, sometimes you get a curveball, and sometimes you get hit in the head. And we have to, you know, learn from it, remember the good things, and it's not really about winning and losing when something like that happens. You know, it's really about life. And so that's what we've tried to do. I feel like it's brought us very close together as a team. And I feel like we're certainly moving in the right direction with it, but you know, Zach's going to be with us for a long time.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Coach on the Razor, this team coming off of 2 20-win seasons, is the next logical step winning a conference tournament, getting back to March Madness, and is that a goal of yours? Is that an attainable goal this season?
Yeah, it is. And, you know, the goal, I think, is always to win the conference. To me, there's 2 goals that I think about a lot. You know, one is to hang a banner in Worthen Arena for winning the overall conference championship. And the second one is to get to the NCAA tournament. They're equally as hard and, in my eyes, equally rewarding, even though the NCAA tournament's going to get more attention. But, yeah, those are the goals. Now, what I always say is, you know, it's, if you put yourself, you know, you never know when the ball bounces in. I mean, Jason Grunkemeyer, I watched him hit a buzzer beater for us that got us into that championship. You never know when the ball breaks your way or this or that, and you just keep trying to be consumed with putting yourself in that position every year. And if you do that, eventually something's going to break your way, and you'll get there. I think you have to be careful not to put all your eggs in those baskets. I always talk about being consumed with the process of excellence, consumed with the process of being great. And if you live that way, you know, it'll happen for you. I've been blessed to be a part of, you know, counting the 2 West Division championships we have. I think that's 11 in my career of teams that have won a championship. But it can't be an end all. It's got to be a process about being consumed with greatness. And if you do that, the championships will take care of itself. You may not win one for 3 years, and then you may win 3 in a row. But kind of the way you approach all of them, to me, is the same in that way.
Coach, you kind of mentioned a little earlier talking about how the small injuries have kind of impacted getting the full team together. How have guys been coming along with injuries, and how's Trey Moses doing?
You know, Trey should be fine, big picture, but he's got a hamstring strain, and it's one of those injuries you're careful with because, you know, you bring him back too early and it could re-injure itself. And that's what we don't want. You know, we have to make sure that when we bring him back, this is really about this whole season. So we've been very cautious with him, which is, I know, the right thing to do. But I think right now, if it stays on the current path, another week to 10 days and he'll start practicing. And I think he'll be fine for November 10th, unless something goes wrong. But I don't think he'll be at 28, 30 minutes a game, you know, maybe for a while. You know, it's going to take a while to kind of build him back up and get his conditioning base back up and not put him in position to get hurt again. It's been a setback, but it's something that we probably won't think much about in January or February, but we will think about in November.
What was the recruiting process with KJ like, and how do you think he can help you guys next year?
KJ was someone that, when he became available, I was really excited because, you know, look at Francis Chiapwe, Jeremy Tyler, and Sean Sellers are all seniors. And I knew we had a chance to be good, but I was a little bit uncomfortable with the thought of, you know, just turning the, you know, not having any more experience behind it. And so when he became available, we were actually recruiting some freshmen, and we bailed out of all of them to try to just wait for KJ because he fit just what we needed. He was a really good player.